morning, everybody. Today we're doing in the life of me. Over the weekend, should only be one day, so I won't bore you guys too much. Got a couple things, got a couple buddies. Let's do it. We're gonna throw the garden tour in here too today. Herb garden, not too much going on. The short-lived cilantro, now coriander, chamomile, yarrow, big as ever. Dogwood needs trimmed. Just overall little bits of cleanup, but everything's kind of doing pretty good. Everything's going to seed. Sage is doing good. Mint always does good. Got a new addition to the garden. The grape arch that me and Melissa built. At some point, it's been so hot and crazy, everything blends together. Got the greenhouse. Got some stuff in the greenhouse. Got my potatoes. We're actually gonna feed these today. They need it. They're not quite dead yet, but they're on their way out. I'm thinking here in the next couple weeks, they'll probably be ready to get pulled. Got some little guys in here. These guys all started as suckers, and now they're like their own plant. I'd pay $5 for that. Big old zucchini, some tomatoes, some cucamelons, some tomatillos, some cucamelons, a pepper. I'm not sure what this is. I want to say Kajari melon. I might be wrong. More tomatoes, some beans. I don't know all the stuff down here, so please. Just a big old block of tomatoes. Some more beans, not really doing anything. Beans. We got some beans. Some beans. More tomatoes. We've been using the black light trick to try to find hornworms. It works okay. They definitely contrast more than the plant does, but still, you really got to be paying attention to find it. Loofah's finally trying to do something. Ground garden is pretty much done for the moment. These cabbages are not going to make it to fruition. The grapes have been annihilated by Japanese beetles. The cucumbers are doing good though. But maybe this weekend, weeding, ripping out, and reseeding for fall. And the food forest. It's not much of a forest yet, is it, guys? But got the pawpaws down in there. We'll trim back all this comfrey again. This will be the 4th time so far. Pawpaws. I actually just made, well, a couple weeks ago I started the Comfrey Tea, and that is actually just got used for the first time yesterday. This is the beginnings of the tropical forest. Got some cannas popping up, some variegated bamboo grass, banana. These are daffodils. Lilies in the back are already cut up. Don't remember what that thing is called, but these two right here are elephant ears. None of them are coming up yet, and I am super sad about them. These are our front tomatoes, and I don't know if it's because they get more sun, but these guys are just getting messed up. Look at this guy, he's even got a little baby pepper growing out of the regular pepper. Tomatoes, got some blushing ones. Some more Brad's Atomic, actually just picked some off of these. And I just made this. It's nothing fancy, but I got to use Melissa's rain chain and I made her a fountain. It's got a little pond pump down there, some tubing goes through, comes around the back out the front, into a little collecty thing, and back down. And I put it in a small bucket that I leak sealed, and then put it in a larger bucket that we'll drill holes in, put dirt in, and then we'll fill it full of plants. So we have a nice little fountain in the front. The blocks are just to hold it so it's stable. A tree, and you can see not much of it left, but you can see all the kitty pillars all over it. And these make perfect chicken snacks. So this is our Comfrey Tea that I've started. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. Just a bunch of liquid in there at this point. Probably some goopy stuff on the bottom from the leaves, but pretty much almost all decayed at this point. But good for y'all, because today's video was not brought to you by Smell-O-Vision. And we're just gonna fill it up today with our Comfrey Tea. We're just gonna pour it, pretty much the Comfrey doesn't really need it, but we're gonna pour it around the pawpaws, the St. John's wort and elderberries, the goji berries, and probably even hit the corn, even though we're not sure what the corn's gonna do this year. So, since I got you here, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to make the Comfrey Tea. Super simple. I'm just gonna prune these leaves down, rip them up, and throw them in the jug. Alright, so this is our haul of Comfrey. As you can see, took it down quite a bit. It gives room for the pawpaws to come through. Gave them some other compost tea, so they should hopefully get a little brighter. I might have a few other tricks up my sleeve to put it in the ground for them this year. And then all this, all you're gonna do is rip it up into pieces. I'm gonna put it in this bucket just to transport it, and then I'll show you the next step. And the last step, as simple as this. Putting it in, we're actually gonna have to put some water in here because I've been using it so much the last 2 days. But besides that, that's Comfrey Tea. Also, for all of you that don't have space predominantly, or even money, that want to garden, super easy, highly recommend buckets. 5-gallon bucket, you can put pretty much anything in. Potatoes, I've grown a cabbage in a bucket before and it worked. Tomatoes especially, don't mind buckets at all. I'm just sitting here filling up this Comfrey Tea, and I'm standing right next to just a random tomato plant that ended up over here by the chicken coop. You can put them anywhere. No space, little space, lots of space, buckets, buckets, more buckets. It works, promise. All right, so we got chopped up and mixed and some more water put in. Excuse me, Jeffrey. So this will sit here now untouched probably for at least 2 weeks to help this give some time to break down and mix with the old stuff. But besides that, in 2 weeks we'll go ahead and use it again, and that's about as much time as I want between my feedings anyways. Guess who else likes it when I trim the tomatoes? Smorgasbord. You guys are being well fed today. We are back on the deck for a breather, so I'll show you the pots. 1 dry pumpkin. Some cayenne peppers. Pulled our first red one off yesterday. Some Anaheims. I believe this is another pepperoncini. The on the deck corn, not looking too good. Lemongrass, jalapenos full of fruit. Picked a couple of those, some more jalapenos, some more cayenne, some of Melissa's Mad Hatters starting to show up. Echinacea is doing good. Comfrey up here needs to go somewhere. Lemongrass, more jalapenos, even though this one I think is also, yep, in Anaheim. I think these are the Thai peppers that we just randomly threw in. Some more Anaheims, cayenne, something. More jalapenos. Some tomatoes. Some blue gold cherry berry tomatoes or something like that. Look how many. So much fun. More pepperoncini plants. Some Brad's Atomic tomatoes that need to get thinned out a little bit, but they are doing pretty good as well. And look, some avocado buddies. There were some cabbages, some random stuff just coming up. I went ahead and left this surprise guy. Pretty sure probably a pumpkin, not 100% sure, but I planted some beets, some carrots, some different kinds of carrots, some rat tail radishes, and this whole line plus this piece is going to be these radishes right here. But we'll see what comes up. So we're taking a break. Doing a bunch of stuff. We cleared out the ground garden like I showed you. This is what we got. Some potatoes, beets, one tiny little carrot, and some tiny onions. Not the best, but we're starting over. Melissa's been planting seeds, cleaning stuff up, starting the fall garden. We got the chicken coop cleaned out. Replanted the ground garden. I think I just said that. Made some Comfrey Tea, showed you guys that. And I don't have a watch, but I'm pretty sure it's only like 11 o'clock. So, a day, here we go, still going. So we're inside for a minute. We are inside for a minute. I found a cool way online how to preserve and save Echinacea seeds. So I'm going to show you that real quick, super easy. Once the petals start to die back, you pick them, pull the petals off, and then stick them in a bag upside down, and that's pretty much it. So I've got my little guys here. This is one that's already been in here. We're going to add him to it. You want to pick them so you have the longest stem possible, and this is about the longest we got. We're going to take these, we're going to stick them inside this brown paper bag, and then use a rubber band to tie around the stems with them in the bag. That way the cones will be off the bottom, and then as they dry, the seeds will just fall right down into the bag. Pretty cool, right? You can see the stems sticking up, not touching the bottom. We'll let them dry out, and then we'll open it up, and we'll show you eventually when there's a bunch of seeds in the bottom. Cross your fingers. So I was inside, had a couple minutes, had a couple peppers. We've been struggling with some fruit end rot on the peppers and the tomatoes especially. And so normally what I've been doing with them is just cutting out the bad parts and cutting them up into strips or cubes depending on the pepper, not tomatoes. And then I've just been putting them in our dehydrator. Just little pieces. It only got one tray this time, but I'll show you what that's going to turn into. That has turned into this. Pretty sticky. But it's just a pepper blend, and it's got Anaheim peppers, jalapenos, cayenne, Thai peppers, and it's just going to kind of turn into a thing. It's kind of like chili powder, but more planty, more peppery freshness. It tastes good. You should try it. All right, it's about 12 o'clock. It's about a bazillion degrees outside, so me and the dogs are inside. I've got a couple things to do around the house. I'm going to install the last of the under cabinet lights that I still have left over from the first two sets. So we're going to do that. I'm not going to show you all the steps because it's only going to take a couple of minutes, but I'll show you the before and after. That's what they look like. This is the side I'm going to do it to. All right, taking my first shower of the day. And we're going to put up some under cabinet lights. Just going to clean up on the top and the bottom so the adhesion tape will work. Then we're going to wire it up. So there'll end up being a light under this section only. Obviously don't need one there and there, but we will put them on the top here. And then we've already got our wire from when we had the drywall down, so it just comes up at the top, and then I'll wire up the lights. All right, we have completed. Looks the same, right? Hopefully it should. All right. And here we go. Ah! Look at that. Only a couple minutes. Bam! Oh, got a little sidetracked and ended up at the pool. But that's about a normal day, I guess. Work, garden, repeat. But thanks for hanging out, and maybe if we do this again, we can have a little bit more fun and try some new stuff.